What if your loan was rejected by AI and no one could tell you why?
Think about very high ticket size loan, where one wrong decision can lead to huge loss.
Deeba Kazmi, co-founder and chief data scientist at Finbots.ai. She has spent over a decade at powerhouses like Citi, Morgan Stanley, Experian.
Thank
you. You have been recognized as one of India's trailblazing women in AI.
Your model can still be doing good, but there can be a population drift. It might be difficult from a human eye to identify deepfake, but the AI again is much more capable of identifying deepfake. One should make a decision to whether to use AI or use a traditional approach. Looking at, we always thought that this transformation will lead to job losses. Being an AI company, I can.
In Southeast Asia, fintechs are rewriting finance with data sources the West hasn't even dared to use, and at a scale that the West hasn't even imagined.
AI advancement and UBI are going to be complementary. So the need of credit is going to be same or increasing over time, irrespective. Prompt engineering is very important. It's not just the prompt engineering that we do to plan a vacation, but coding and all is good, but then those skill set will become less important.
The jobs, the economy, even the way money flows, all of it is about to change.
What works best for rolling out AI in environments with old infrastructure in banks? How much amount of human oversight is enough in this high-risk scenario?
Articles, not even one person people are writing it themselves. Research papers are always my go-to. Credit is a very important aspect when it comes to banking because it's the money-making part.
Fraud, bias, jobs, universal basic income. AI is rewriting the rules of finance. Watch the full story only On Air with Aashka.
Hello and welcome to On Air with Aashka. Today we are diving into the world of AI and FinTech with one of India's trailblazing women in AI. Yes, I am joined by Deeba Kazmi, co-founder and chief data scientist at Finbots.ai. She has spent over a decade at powerhouses like Citi, Morgan Stanley, Experian. So welcome to the show. And yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Aashka. Thank you for inviting.
Yeah. Yes, let's dive right into the questions. So you have been recognized as one of India's trailblazing women in AI. Huge congratulations on that. So can you shed some light on your work at Finbots.ai that brought you this recognition and what do you do?
So at Finbots, I am leading the product development enhancement aspect. So when I joined 4 years back, I joined as a lead data scientist, and my journey from lead data scientist to co-founder has been over a period of 2 years. In these 2 years, I started working on the development of the product from scratch. Not just that, but I was very deeply engaged in the pre-sale conversation, understanding what are the client requirements so that I can build that into the product, so that our product is not just a flashy product which has AI inbuilt in it, but it actually solves real client problems.
Yeah. Can you give us a little intro about the product? Like what space is it for the audience?
So Finbots were actually launched with the mission of developing AI products to solve the challenges that are there in the credit risk area of the banking industry. Now, credit is a very important aspect when it comes to banking because it's the money-making part of the business. So although there are other banking products, but the real money really comes from credit. All at the same time, there is a lot of risk involved in it. So so because of the trade-off between the money that it brings in and the risk that's involved in it, there is a lot of need of coming up with products and AI solutions that help you solve this trade-off. So, and this can be done by leveraging the data that's out there. and using the
Mhm.
state of the art AI algorithms and processes to make use of those data sources in the most appropriate manner, which can then
Mhm.
lead to low risk credit lending. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that sounds very exciting. And of course, as you mentioned, it's a high risk area, also classified by the UAI. So I had this question about beyond the headlines, since you have spent over a decade in the fintech industry itself, not just in AI. What's one concrete way having more women in fintech AI leadership has changed actual business outcomes or product decisions at companies that you have seen or worked with?
Yeah, absolutely. There have been real and measurable impact on business outcomes, whether it be growth, whether it be innovation,
Mhm.
ethics, team performance, and a lot of such areas, which has led to a remarkable shift in the way the AI products have been designed. So now, if you see, the AI products are much more user centric, inclusive, and effective.
Mm.
And a lot of
Yeah,
this has to do with the inclusion of
women
women
leaders.
in the
Mm.
leadership, because they have brought in the aspects of the different data
Mhm.
parameters to be considered, looking at the product from a human aspect, a lot of
Mhm.
collaboration across teams, which has led to developing much more inclusive products which are more effective. Negotiation of adoption of AI. So there is always a
Mm.
huge gap between the business team and the innovation team. So there has been
Yeah.
a good amount of contribution by the women leadership in this negotiation
Mm.
and bringing them on board. Uh, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very powerful to hear, and I totally agree with you. And we need more women representation in the AI world as well. So let's go back to the Finbots conversation and talk about some Singaporean regulations. On the Finbots website, it's mentioned that Finbots has completed Mass Veritas and AI Verify frameworks launched by the Singapore finance and technology regulators to objectively validate the quality and performance of AI solutions.
Yeah.
So, can you explain what they are and how did Finbots comply with them?
Okay. So it was a
Yeah.
good 2 to 3 months of pilot that we worked
Mm-hmm.
upon in collaboration with MAS and IMDA. So these are the two government bodies
Mm-hmm.
of Singapore, which had a lot of technical tests on the product itself
Mm-hmm.
and the AI models that are being generated by the product, as well as process checks. So a huge list of
Mm-hmm.
questionnaires you have where you had to provide answers on the process that has been adopted to make the AI solution and the models that are being developed completely compliant with the regulatory policies that are out there. So, as
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, a combination of technical as well as process checks, which includes all your major pillars of your FEAT principle, which is fairness, explainability,
Mm-hmm.
accountability, and transparency. So, it was
Mm-hmm.
much detailed process to really analyze the product. So, if I go into the detail, the technical test really talks gives you results upon what kind of AI models are being generated in terms of accuracy, in terms of fairness. So there are fairness parameters on whether the model is biased with respect to any of the
Mm-hmm.
gender class or age groups or ethnicity, explainability, whether it's able to explain and come up with the features that are contributing to the result and are they accurate or not. Whether we are using
Mm-hmm.
the approved algorithms and the latest algorithms for the different steps that are involved in the modeling life cycle. What we are doing to maintain the model repository, keep track of the versioning of the models, keeping track of the model even after they are developed, validated, and pushed to production. So end-to-end check and assessment was done, and after that only we were provided that certification by these government
Mm-hmm.
bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, does it happen like, what's the frequency of the check or the audit that happens? Like, does it happen yearly or
So no, so it happens once unless until your product
once? Okay.
undergoes a drastic change.
A
For
major change
one
or something.
AI
Oh,
product,
okay.
it will
Got
happen
it.
once end to end. Yeah.
Ah,
The process checks happens once when you have launched the product and it's ready. And if it undergoes some bit of huge transformation, then you will have to go through the process again.
again.
But the
Okay.
technical tests are
Hmm.
something that can be infused within the solution. And every time you're developing a
Mhm.
model, if the client needs a certification, we can go through it really quickly because there's a toolkit and we can
Okay. Yeah.
just provide it to them on the go. Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually quick and very smart
exactly.
way to approach it. Yeah, because with I think SOC 2 compliance or something, you need to get it done like every now and then.
Yes,
Type one.
yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. Those
yeah.
are
Got.
certifications we get on a yearly basis. The SOC 2 Type 2 and
Yes.
engineering certification. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting to know. So you mentioned about the explainability part. Let's dive right on to that.
yeah,
So the UAI Act also requires clear and meaningful information about automated
yeah.
decisions. But here's the paradox: when you give customers detailed, lime or sharp
Mm,
explanations, some become very suspicious or even litigious, especially seeing factors they considered irrelevant.
mm,
So there's also a technical issue like line creates simplified approximations that can sometimes be misleading.
yeah,
So it might highlight income as the top factor when your model is actually weighing complex interactions between income, spending patterns, regional indicators, like all of that. So how do you basically overcome these kind of challenges while infusing explainability within your solutions?
yeah. So that's a very important question. So the USP of the product is that it has automated all the model development
Hmm.
cycle. So although there is human oversight
Okay.
and control, but you can run all of
Hmm.
this very quickly at a click of a button, along with having control.
Hmm.
So you can provide your inputs as well. How it helps is once
Okay.
you develop your model, uh, at the same time you get a very well automatically documentation available, which gives you all the
Okay.
details about the model, the overall development
Hmm.
process, the top variables, the contribution of each of the variables. And then this model, because it's a credit risk space and it's not any other
Hmm.
space, it's a credit high risk
Hmm.
models. So it cannot go
Yes.
to
Yeah.
production without getting an approval from the regulators or the model risk management team of the
Hmm.
organization. So the
Hmm.
modelers can straight away pass on this auto generated document to them and let them go through
Hmm.
the top contributors, and if they have issues
Hmm.
with certain model variables, they can just mark them out. And over here, the modelers can just quickly at a click of a button rerun the model with the updated set of variables and share that with them. So
Okay.
before going to production, the model
Hmm.
risk management team has to approve those variables, which happens really quickly through an automated fashion through the documentation that's auto
Hmm.
generated. That's one.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in no point that the regulators will come to know, okay, why this variable is being used or why that is being used.
Yeah.
It has to go through that approval process. Second is this is global explainability when we are developing the model. Now talking about the local explainability when the model is in
Hmm.
production and the explainability is
Yeah.
provided at a customer by customer level. At that time,
Okay.
also given the risk involved, um, not
Hmm.
everything goes through an automated yes or no or decline or accept kind of a scenario. We do understand that at times there is human oversight involved. Uh, and
Hmm.
so wherever we feel that there is a risky region, and let's say the top
Hmm.
percentile of the customer base, the model is very good in identifying and giving the top parameters. But let's say there are segments and where there might be some scope of misalignment between a human inspection and the AI inspection. So again,
Mm.
through an automated fashion, it will go through a manual review. So where the
Okay.
decision maker can go through it and then pass it on. If everything looks
Mm.
fine to him, then he can pass it on to the next stage.
That sounds very interesting. So, you mentioned about the local thing,
Local explainability.
localized explainability.
Yeah.
So, like, does cultural relativism play a huge role, like when you are defining, or like because there is a human in the loop or human oversight is there, so it's tuned accordingly.
No, it depends upon the values that that particular customer has for the different data points in the model. So the local
Mm-hmm.
explainability again comes from the AI algorithm only. So it will assess,
Only,
yeah,
okay.
it will assess. Um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at a global level, and for majority of the people,
Mm-hmm.
income is playing a big role in his application getting accepted or declined. But for this particular customer, it might be something else. Is maybe it's his
Mm-hmm.
income to expense ratio or loan to value ratios or his past credit score. So it can be totally
Mm-hmm.
different because the interaction, the values that this customer has and the interaction that's happening between the variables for this particular customer might be very different. So that's why local
Mm-hmm.
explainability plays a key role uh, for decision
Yeah.
making.
Yeah, yeah. So explainability isn't just like, okay, our models are explainable or explainable AI is implemented. It's much deeper than what we see on the surface level. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's very interesting to know that. And localized is very like mind blowing to me at least. Yeah. Yeah. So, within your product, you have this model builders, right? Within the Creditex product. So, you AI Act requires high quality data sets for forecasting and risk models. As we mentioned, it's a high risk scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you are letting the clients build their own models from their own data, so how do you maintain these kind of or help maintain this kind of high quality data and integrity on your platform?
Okay, so there are two ways we do it, stage one and stage two.
Mm,
Stage one is at
mm,
when we are deploying our solution in the client's environment, we will definitely
mm,
go do a initial level of analysis to check the quality of data and to understand what's the appropriate usage of data. It's not
okay.
every time and for every data that
Mm,
we would recommend that you go ahead and develop a AI model, right? Maybe that client doesn't have
mm,
a has just started lending and they don't have enough data points,
mm,
right? Or they don't have a
mm,
mature repayment history. So whatever, or they still
mm,
need to procure
mm,
information from third party sources which are still not there.
mm,
So depending or
mm,
any other reason. So depending upon the quality of data they have, we will make recommendations around what type of model they should be
mm,
developing, whether they should be going with an expert scorecard, what we call as an expert scorecard,
mm.
which is just based on business judgments because there is no data to train. So if there is zero data, there
Oh, yeah.
so there
Mm,
is no training data available for the AI algorithms to learn the patterns, right? Then we recommend
mm,
them to go ahead with an expert model, which can be created and implemented
mm,
through a product called Decision X, which is a business rules engine. So through
mhm.
simple rules, you can have an
Yeah.
expert judgment based model. If there, so that's stage one. And if there is good enough data, then you go ahead and develop an AI model. Again, we take a call between
Mm,
going ahead using a traditional approach or an advanced approach, again, depending upon the data quality.
mm.
So those recommendations
Okay.
is something that we provide. Stage two is built in the product. So we have a specific
Mm,
data curation pipeline which takes care of all the issues in the data, whether it be missing value,
mm,
anomalies in the data,
mm,
fluctuations in certain distributions, bias in the data, imbalanced data. So all of those which can be
mm,
curated through
mm,
algorithms are built in the product to take care to
mm.
maintain the quality.
Yeah. So, does your product also gives them ability to create those model cards that are required by many regulations, like the model cards or the system cards that we see with open AI models or other AI models? So do you also help them create those kind of documentation?
Yes, yes.
Got it.
All
Got
the
it.
required
Yeah.
documentations are generated automatically, and it
Mm-hmm.
gets downloaded at a click of a button.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. So the one thing that I loved while I was researching for this podcast was the AI toggle feature. It's very interesting since I've been a product manager and I've seen that people are overusing AI or maybe like applying AI to problems where AI is not even needed. Traditional
Exactly.
ML can do the work
Mhm.
for us.
Mm.
So that's an amazing feature to have. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah,
That's very much
yeah.
required because
So
one should
uh,
make a decision to whether to use AI or
mhm,
use a traditional approach,
mhm,
looking at some stats, right?
mhm.
Not just go ahead and
Yes,
if I feel like I go ahead use it. So that's what's
yeah,
intentionally
yeah.
included in the product. So people who are AI ready,
Mhm,
they can go ahead and start using the advanced one. Who are starting
mhm.
new, they don't want to take that jump, they can start with the traditional approach, check out the results they are
Yeah,
getting using AI. And if they see a
yeah.
drastic
Mhm,
improvement, then they can make their own choices on the basis of some
mhm.
stats rather than human judgment.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. That's very powerful. So, since we touched upon bias a little bit in your answers, so let's talk about bias monitoring.
Mhm.
So, you have talked about identifying and eradicating biases. So, can you share a specific instance where your post-deployment monitoring caught a model that had drifted and become less fair over time? And what demographic got hurt and how did you recover it and what was your 48-hour response plan? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ashka, in today's day and age where our environment is so dynamic, population
Yeah.
shift in your model is eventually going to happen. And unlike
Happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
earlier days when the model used to be stable for a year, 2 year, it's not happening these days. And if
Mhm.
it is happening, there's something definitely wrong because there are changes
Wrong.
happening.
Yeah.
Either you're not monitoring it carefully or wrongly monitoring it. So
Mhm.
what we have in
Yeah.
place is a automated monitoring reports. So every week
Mhm.
these reports get generated, which usually what the reports capture is, I'm talking about the regular approach, they only capture the performance of the model, and if it's doing good, they are okay. However, your model can
Mhm.
still be doing good, but there can be a
Mhm.
population drift, right? Like they are
Mhm.
able to capture
Yeah.
bad from goods, but the cutoff at
Mhm.
which you started defining your bad versus goods might now need to change
Mhm.
because there has been a drift in the population. Now, this drift can be based on either gender. So maybe now more females,
Mhm.
we are seeing so many females more actively applying for credits these days. Earlier, it was used to be
Yeah.
only the males of the house that were going to the
Yeah.
banks and doing those activities. So that's there.
Mhm.
Then age also. A lot of younger
Mhm.
people. Earlier, we used to see only mid-aged people applying for credit. Now, young
Yeah.
age people are also getting jobs and they are applying, and these trends are shifting from time to
Mhm.
time. So, what we
Yeah.
have captured in our reports are these bias aspects as well, how well the model
Mhm.
is doing across different gender segments, age groups, ethnicity, and if something goes haywire, it will send alert to
Mhm.
the credit modeler and he can go back and
Mhm.
refresh the model very quickly on the most new recent data and then push the model to
Mhm.
production. So that can happen within a
Yeah.
period of 1 or 2 days that you can take that
Mhm.
action and
Mhm.
stop any kind of
Mhm.
wrong decisions being made.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good incident response plan also, right? Like having that quickness and everything. So, since you mentioned about this, you with some customers, you try the non-AI or the traditional ML approach first, and then based on the stats, then you help them get into the AI component of things. So you must be working with some banks who have been using legacy systems like hardware infrastructure and everything. So what have you found works best for rolling out AI in environments with old infrastructure, especially in banks across emerging markets, because you have been working with emerging markets a lot.
Yeah.
So, any lessons from that?
So the good thing was that we did this research earlier before completing the development of our product so that we can take care of all the reluctance or hurdles that are there from the client side in terms of IT and infra and tech. So that was one
Okay.
important
Mm,
research that we did at the very beginning, and that's where we decided that
mm,
we are going to develop a light-weighted containerized solution which can be deployed in
mm,
any environment. So there are no
mm,
restrictions that this needs to be deployed only on cloud or our public cloud. No, the product can be deployed
mm.
on-prem, private cloud, or on our cloud. But we do mention the benefits of deploying any solution on cloud versus on-prem so that later on, if they want to make that shift, they can do it with our help.
That's a good transformation that they can have. Yeah. We have talked about human oversight a lot during these conversations. I have an odd analogy. Like when we shop at a supermarket, there's often someone at the exit checking your bill against your cart. Like sometimes they verify every single item. Other times they just scan one or two items at random, and if you have an unbilled item, you would definitely get caught with the thorough check, but you might slip in just with a spot check. So, in like, how much amount of human oversight is enough? Would you like someone to be manually reviewing every decision, or does random checking work in this high risk scenario?
Okay, so
Yeah.
as you rightly mentioned, it's a high risk scenario. So we have to be very careful
Hmm.
where we are allowing automated decisions and where there is a need
Hmm.
of a human evaluation. So
Yeah.
there are segments at the top and the bottom decides that the model is extremely confident and we know the level of confidence that the model has. All those stats are available.
Hmm.
So we put
Hmm.
cutoffs so that anything passing through these regions can just go straight through. Whatever decision is
Okay.
being made by the model, just go straight through.
Hmm.
But wherever we know there are risky segments, and within the risky segment there is also high, medium, low. We we
Hmm.
channel them through human evaluation, but different degrees of human evaluation, right? There can be where the
Hmm.
model is very less confident about the decision, then it will go through a longer process of human evaluation, maybe asking the customer for more documents or something.
Hmm.
But if it is less risky or edge cases, then
Hmm.
we would the human evaluation would be just review the reason codes. If it looks fine, then pass through. So those kind
Okay.
of categorization
Hmm.
in terms of how the output should be rolled through is
Hmm.
taken care of within the solution. It's just that the cutoffs can be adjusted accordingly
Hmm.
for different models. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. But this cutoffs that you are talking about might have evolved over a time, right? Like when you just started with Finbots or this product, like was that the case from the very beginning, or did any
No,
incidents
no,
happen?
yeah. Earlier we started with binary decisioning, which was accept, reject. But then, of course, the
Yeah. Okay.
clients were quite reluctant about we cannot just do straight
Hmm.
through for everyone. We need to
Yeah.
get deeper into the kind of the quality of output that's being generated in terms of the
Hmm.
confidence. And then we segment it
Hmm.
further for the type of action to be taken on that.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense completely. Since we talked about this human oversight thing, the world is moving towards more and more autonomous AI. And recently, there have been reports around AI agents executing unauthorized financial transactions despite safety guardrails. In your Finbot scenario, it's credit scoring or credit rating. So, a similar vulnerability could mean wrongful loan approvals or denials affecting thousands. So, what specific guardrails or safeguards have you implemented that you believe most fintech AI systems are missing these days?
The first thing I feel is in a high
Mm,
risk area, people shouldn't
mhm,
rush through the AI wave that's happening.
mhm.
I understand to
Yeah.
adapt something for marketing or campaign
Mhm,
offers. That's absolutely fine. But if something
mhm,
as important as credit risk, which where one decision,
mhm,
and just think about very high ticket size loan, yeah, where one decision, wrong decision can lead to huge loss. Um,
Yes.
so the guardrails there has to be very well thought upon, researched, tested, evaluated
Mhm,
over a period of time, and it
mhm,
has to be rolled out into in a phased approach, right? So
mhm. Yeah.
that's very important rather than just developing
Mm.
something and really feeling happy about it and sending it across.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
some, and also it should be used in patches. For example, there is an overall
Mm.
modeling life cycle and decision making process. So not in one
Mm.
go you are including
Replacing
everything
everything.
in one
Yeah.
go, where testing and
Mhm,
evaluation and tracing back the issues become a huge challenge.
mhm,
So you doing it in patches,
mhm.
we are also doing, but we are not
Yeah.
replacing the entire thing by a LLM or AI
Mhm,
agent. We are doing it in patches.
mhm,
For example, for data, we have brought in the
mhm,
VLMs, which is visual language models, to transform and let's say image data or scan copy, digital copies, and to extract information from all of that to use it for decisioning. Then yeah,
mhm,
so it should happen, but yeah, it happen in patches where you
mhm.
can very well
Yeah.
validate it.
Yes, yes, makes a lot of sense. So, what's the most sophisticated new fraud vector that you have encountered in the last 6 months that specifically targets AI-powered lending systems? And how are fraudsters using tools like deepfakes or synthetic identities? And what's your counter strike against them?
Yeah, deep fakes and identity fraud. See, identity frauds have been happening from a very long time, but there was net solutions
Yeah.
for it. But now with, of course, with the new AI out there, it's a
Hmm.
boon and a pain. So the pain is there will be more frauds and new types of frauds. But yeah,
Frauds, yeah.
so a deep fake might not be, it might be difficult from a human eye to identify a deep fake, but the
Yeah.
AI again
Yeah.
is much more capable of identifying deep fake. So the need is just to keep updating
Mhm.
your AI algorithms to identify
Mm.
fraudsters, to include all
Mm.
these
Mm.
aspects, which can then be taken care of. Yeah.
Mhm. Any recent incident that has occurred that you would like to share,
No, I think
like
people
beware of such? Uh,
banks are much more vigilant, so they
yeah.
will
Hmm.
they introduce such. They ask us to introduce these things much before they
Yeah.
encounter anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, so you have worked across India, Singapore, and other emerging markets. Can you share one specific insight from African or Southeast Asian fintech that could revolutionize how Western banks think about credit decisions? Like something that they have been missing, and the South region is doing much well, Southeast region.
I think the scale at which
Mm-hmm.
the banks and the fintechs uh, really
Mm-hmm.
work in this part of the region is immense. That
Mm-hmm.
scalability is absolutely missing in that part of the world, and
Mm-hmm.
diversity in the data being used. Of course, here there is a need because they don't have formal credit bureaus and data repositories to use. But because of that, people here have become really creative in the sense. What are the different data sources they can tap into and use it to
Mm-hmm.
for their credit risk assessment, for other purposes as well, whether it be marketing, digitization, or any other space. So a lot of work is being done in the space of using alternate data source which we hear a lot
Mhm.
in that part of the region. But to be honest, it's not being
Mhm.
implemented that well as it is being implemented here, because of course
Oh, nice. That's interesting.
the
Yeah.
need over here is much more. Digital wallet
Mhm.
data, transactions data, your
Mhm.
telco data, your website data, digital footprints. We cannot even, like 5 years back, we couldn't have thought about Southeast Asia tapping into these data sources and using it. But this is
Mhm.
reality. This is what we are doing. And
Yeah.
they are doing it at scale. Yeah.
Scale. Yeah. That's very important. Yeah, so let's move on to AI literacy. AI literacy is also a huge part of UAI Act. For non-AI companies, it's like legal services require advanced proficiency, while marketing departments need only basic level awareness
Yep.
and everything. But for AI companies, what does it mean to be AI literate?
See, being an AI company, we are really responsible of the knowledge that we have and the knowledge we are spreading. So if we
Mhm.
call ourselves the AI company, we have to be up out there and have the latest information available and also assessed it well. So if I'm going to talk about something, I
Mhm.
should know what are the pros and cons. I cannot just read two articles and give a speech on a new algorithm.
Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
always, what we have is a small research team. So whatever new
Mhm.
comes up, before talking about
Mhm.
it or even making a decision around implementing it or including it in our solution, we have a research team where we run a couple of experiments to get deeper into it and to understand
Mhm.
what it is, what actually it is, and
Mhm.
versus what
Yeah.
is being talked about. So that's our knowledge
Mhm.
base. So first responsibility is, with every new thing coming in, create a right, trustworthy knowledge base. And that's the AI team. That's the responsibility of the AI team within the
Mhm.
AI company. But not everyone is
Okay.
part of that. But then once we
Yeah.
have that information, we make sure that we spread it across. Of course, there are monthly
Mhm.
meetings where we introduce it to the other team members also.
Mhm.
And the very important part about being part of Finbot is even people, whether it be marketing, whether it be engineering, whether it be finance, everyone knows the product inside out. If you go and talk to anyone
Yeah.
about the product, they will be able to. Although it's an AI product, it's very technical, but that's the
Mhm.
basic goal that we have set up for everyone. So you cannot keep working for an AI
Yeah.
company and say, no, I'm from marketing. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is actually very powerful. Like, I have worked with a company where the salespeople used to come back with some questions on security, privacy, and they are just knowing how to sell the product and what the product is like just on the outside or the surface level, but they don't know the nitty-gritties, the safety, privacy, security nitty-gritties. So I have seen that in the corporate world. That's very powerful. Like literally great work. Uh, when we talk about this topics, economic index shows AI news leans more towards augmentation, like 57%, as compared to automation, that is 43%. So it also reveals like usage peaks in mid to high wage occupations like computer programmers and data scientists. So from your economics background and hands-on fintech experience, how is this reshaping the skills that fintech companies need, and who is getting left behind in this scenario?
See, whoever is thinking that this is not going to go too far, they will be left behind. So I think the
Yeah.
problem first to tackle is the mindset rather than the skill set. So having the
Mhm.
right mindset and going with the time is very much important.
Mhm.
And that's why
Mhm.
adapting to what's new, what is coming in new. So like computers came in, internet came in, then traditional modeling came in. So with everything coming in, we always thought that this transformation will lead to job losses, job losses, job losses.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
happen if you keep sticking to your current skill set. So it's always very
Mhm.
important to adapt, whether it
Mhm.
be data scientists. Now they have, from coding, they have to move to where should this app apply. So it's not like the
Mhm.
opportunities are going. This new technology,
Mhm.
new algorithms are going to open new opportunities. So opportunities are there. So it's just that you have
Mhm.
to have the right mindset and transform your skill set to tap into those
Mm.
opportunities. Then
Yeah.
your jobs
Yeah.
won't be your jobs will be
Affected.
secured. Yeah.
Replaced. Yeah. Got it. Got it. So can you point, of course, like, can you point some specific skills that fintech will be demanding in the future that people can develop alongside the actual hardcore skills that are required, but like any other skills that you can point out?
Yeah. So prompt engineering is very, very, very important. Now, when I say prompt
Mm-hmm.
engineering, it's not just the prompt engineering that we do to plan a vacation or something like that, but for,
Yeah, very
yeah,
complex level.
for
Yeah.
our inbuilt solution. So how you're asking, what you're asking, it's exactly like when you have a big business problem to solve for, you always break it into
Mm-hmm.
tasks and or
Tasks.
smaller problems depending upon what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
assign a different process to solve for it. So prompt engineering has
Mm.
become that important.
Important.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one. And second space where you have to, anyone has to become more developed and have great skill set is on the validation and guardrails. So you can keep developing things,
Mm.
but you have to come up with a skill set on what type of guardrails should be there. It should be, now there are
Mm.
guardrails, AI based, human in the loop. Again, another layer of LLMs, multiple layers of LLMs. So there are multiple ways of doing it, but when what
Mm.
should be adapted, how to set up the entire process for it. So a lot of
Mm.
thinking from solving a problem kind of mindset needs to be there, and of course how in how to set
Mhm.
up that overall architecture, so architecture design.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
coding and all is good, but then those skill set will become less important, and these skill sets will
Yeah.
become much more important. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I agree to your point. And like, of course, if the employees know prompt engineering well, then it will cost less to the company as well, so that they can write very contextual and precise prompts
Yeah.
and get the output
Yes,
that is needed.
because
So, one last and deep
you
question.
cannot miss, right?
Sorry?
Every hit and miss is a cost to the company, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So, last question. The UBI discussion is going on, right? The universal basic income. So, studies have predicted AI will displace about one third of existing jobs worldwide within a decade, and universal basic income is gaining momentum as a policy response. So, this creates a paradox for financial services, especially with your AI credit inclusion tools. Like, they expand financial access, right? But the same technology might eliminate the jobs that create income streams to service those loans. So, from your economics background, how do you like, do you see AI financial inclusion and UBI as complementary or competing approaches? And practically, how would you design credit models for a world where a significant portion of borrowers might receive guaranteed government income rather than traditional employment? Like, how would this world look like?
I think
Paint us a
it's a
picture.
transformation. I think the
Mhm,
AI advancement and UBI are going to be
mhm,
complementary and will help
mhm,
this transformation to go peacefully rather than creating a lot of disruption in the society and
mhm,
in different economies. Talking about the
mhm,
need of credit, no, the need of credit is going to be same or increasing over time, irrespective of the UBI coming in, because credit basically gives
mhm,
you more power, more purchasing power,
mhm. Power.
while being
Mhm,
able to repay your credit with the help of UBI that's going to be provided. So it's not going to impact
mhm,
financial inclusion. It's not going to impact the credit
mhm,
industry.
mhm,
That's not, in fact, it will
mhm,
increase more
mhm,
demand for credit because there will be more products and services and other things that people would
mhm,
want to use. At the same time, they will have the surety of an income flow coming
mhm,
in through the UBI. But I feel all of this
mhm,
is going to be just transformational. After the
mhm,
transformation is over, we have gone through the other side. People will be
mhm,
settled in and they would have identified their
mhm,
respective space where they can contribute and start earning. Because There
Oh,
are things that will get disrupted. The jobs will go, but again, it will
yeah.
definitely create more
Create
opportunities,
new.
newer
Yeah.
jobs
Mm.
for people to get
Mm.
employed into. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 So, like, it will be a
new world.
not a steady transformation that we will go through, but after that, the grass will be greener on the other side. Yeah. Yeah. That's very important. So, one last piece of advice for fintech founders, like, firstly, let's start with the biggest mistake that you have seen them making, and secondly, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to fintech founders trying to survive in these environment of tight regulations and aggressive regulations?
The first mistake I would say is thinking too much can be harmful because I
Uh-huh.
think if you keep on thinking and planning and not really doing things, you will not know what's working, what's not working. So in the beginning, when
Mhm.
we were developing the product, we were like, no, we will think through this perfectly, and then
Mm.
only we will start the implementation so that the
Mhm.
development goes smoothly. So that's one example, but
Mhm.
that can happen with anything, with any kind of AI adoption. By the time
Mhm.
if you're taking too long to think and plan, there will be 10 new things that would have come up, which could
Yeah.
replace 10 things in your plan already. So now it's the time
Mhm.
to learn quickly, develop quickly,
Mhm.
fail quickly. It's okay to
Mhm.
fail. You are
Mhm.
bound to fail. If you don't fail, then it's also you're doing something wrong. Fail quickly,
Wrong. Yeah.
learn again, and then get back to
Mhm.
track of development. So
Mhm.
that's the thing. I've really realized that sitting back, thinking and planning, those
Mhm.
were the old good days where we used to take
Yeah.
a month or 2 months to
Yeah.
do the planning only. But here,
Yeah. The waterfall model in a
yeah,
way.
and
Yeah.
the thing, the learning for me.
Mhm.
So this
Mhm.
is a thing that I've changed about myself. The other thing that I have
Mhm.
kept is, as mentioned, keeping myself relevant and keeping myself
Mhm.
updated and creating my own knowledge base to make my decisions, because there is so
Mhm.
much coming up every day, and you at times you get overwhelmed with the kind of information that's flowing in, the
Yeah.
kind of research and development that's happening. So to
Mhm.
there's always a requirement of a reality check. What's true?
Mhm.
What's
Yeah.
just in the
Yeah.
air?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is something that I've always done, and I really want to
Mhm.
continue doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's very powerful. So, are there any go-to sources that you refer to? Like, because with AI, content generation has become huge, and like referring to the right resources is also a hassle. Like, uh, pointing, can you point any specific resources or people that you follow to get the latest updates or keep yourself
And
updated?
anything that's not supported with proper research in terms of a research paper with code and
Mm-hmm.
data, I don't fall into that so easily, and nobody should
Mm-hmm.
fall into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So
Yes.
go for well
Mm-hmm.
reputed research papers which are trustworthy,
Mhm,
and are
mhm,
supported by codes and data, which you can very quickly check on your side as well. Articles
mhm,
and all, it's good to read, but again,
mhm.
and as you mentioned, the content in LinkedIn articles, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Not even 1% of the
Yeah.
people are writing it themselves, and you can make it out very easily. So I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Those are the right sources of information to gather knowledge from.
Mhm,
But yeah, research papers are always my go-to base to get that trustworthy information.
yeah. 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 Like a proper data scientist kind of a response. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah, and
yeah.
for
Yeah.
people who don't have a technical
Mhm,
background, uh,
mhm,
for them, I think it's difficult for them to really, if they want to know what's happening in AI, look at articles where it's being talked about,
mhm,
the AI being actually implemented.
Implemented. Yeah.
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 So if it
So
is
true.
if they're talking about it and they have implemented and they're talking about something they have
Mm-hmm.
implemented, it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
trust that if it's
Mm-hmm.
publicly available, try it out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if it's something in the development stage and they are saying that they
Mm-hmm.
will do this and that, it might be all in
Mm-hmm.
the air unless until it, because to be very honest, there are
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of pilots that are
Mm-hmm.
being run today on the in the Gen AI
Mm-hmm.
space with in
Mm-hmm.
reputed consultancies and big even tech firms. Uh, but if you
Mm-hmm.
talk about what's
Yeah.
in production, you will get you will not get an
Mm-hmm.
answer, like a proper answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you really want to do
Yeah.
a quality check, ask what's in production,
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah,
results.
yeah. That's a shrewd response and a shrewd way to kind of cut through the hype and make a judgment on your end, like, okay, this is to be trusted and this is not to be trusted. So yeah, completely makes sense. So thank you so much, Deeba. Thank you so much for your time. And I think right on time we are completing this. Let me stop the recording.